Hey, this is Wilson. No Jason this week as always. No Galvez either. But Shane and Jason Big Mitch Mitchell are back once again. Let's get into the free agency signings. So we signed 4 players, right, in the first week of free agency. We signed Lonnie Walker the fourth. We gave him 1 year, $6.5 million. He was with the Spurs last year. A good little player. Troy Brown Jr. We gave him 1 year, $2 million. He was with
Chicago.
Okay, and then we got Juan Toscano Anderson, aka Juan T,
which was a surprise
from the Bay Area. I always like it when we bring in guys who come from championship
teams. Yeah. Heck yeah.
And so we were able to bring him in. I think he was better for the War. I mean, Juan T kind of is what he is. He's a kind of back end of the rotation type of guy. But like I said, I just like it when you bring guys in who come from championship cultures, and I like him. I remember when he got into it with Rodney McGruder. That's kind of the thing that I most. And Draymond was going in. Draymond and Clay went in on Rodney McGruder. Clay wasn't even playing at that time, but he was he would have. But that was funny. But so I'll be good. It'll be fun to have him around. And then we signed Damian Jones. We gave him he's returning. And we gave him 2 years, $4.7 million. He has the potential to be the starting center next year. We know AD doesn't like to play center. Maybe we'll bring back. I'm reading this from the Sporting News. They have a depth chart here with all the guys who are. I guess these guys who are under contract. That would be Westbrook, Walker, THT, LeBron, AD, Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, Troy Brown Jr., Stanley Johnson, Damian Jones. The rookie who we'll get to in a second, Max Christie, also Scottie Pippen Jr., two-way, right? Juan T, Wenyan Gabriel, and then Cole Swider, another two-way. So, and they mentioned the Sporting News mentioned who wrote this. It's just written by Gilbert McGregor. But he mentioned that it's possible that we bring Dwight Howard back to be this. He can. I don't know why they haven't. Dwight Howard should have been the starting center since it's his second time coming back. He should have been the starting center really in 2020, and he should have been the starting center full time.
Well, hold on, that might not be a true report because the target's been Thomas Bryant. So I don't know, because Dwight said
sources.
Well, that's it. The target's been Thomas Bryant because Chris Haynes. If you go back to Chris Haynes, because you just mentioned him, he was reporting, I believe Friday or Thursday, that Thomas Bryant was decided between the Celtics and the Lakers.
Oh, that's gross.
And the Celtics already brought in the center. So, but Thomas Bryant was waiting it out because he doesn't want to. He's trying not to play for the minimum, but Thomas Bryant is supposed to be the target because he's a stretch 5, and with Darvin Ham's system, you need a stretch 5. So, this is going on.
So how do you? I mean, those free agency. I mean, do you guys think that I like it just because we got so wayward last year, bringing in kind of guys who were, Carmelo being the most glaring example of guys who it's like you can't. You can't just take a bunch of guys who.
Oh no, we can't put that on Carmelo.
Big names and think that's going to work. The pieces have to fit strategically.
Pieces got to fit clearly.
So I don't know how you guys. I mean, these guys are not major.
I love the moves because we got younger. Like now LeBron and Westbrook, he's still on the team, are the oldest ones on the team. And all these guys are between 21 and 27 at most. All of them are 3 and D players, except Damian Jones. He's returning and he's a rim protector, and we wanted to get him back before last season, but the Kings kept him. So the fact we got him back, we got younger, which was a big deal because last year they couldn't keep up with nobody. Everybody that was young ran them off the court. Now that shouldn't be a problem. And then with the coaching staff that Darvin has put together, he brought a coaching staff where everybody can get on the court and work with the players. So, and all of them have player development background. So you
I
combine
got a
that.
question.
So,
Antho,
Yeah.
with the roster that with the roster with where it is right now, would you try to bring in how many spots do we have left?
I just counted 16.
you got to remember,
Right.
two-way players don't count as roster.
Say it again.
Two-way players don't count as roster.
You sound low, man.
So, yeah, you kind of sound kind of low.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying my fault. I was getting messages, but anyway,
This guy, man.
Two-way players.
Hey, hold on 1 second, man. Tell your host to just chill out for a second, man. We're recording a podcast here, okay? Be a professional,
Calm down,
please.
so I don't have hoes. But anyway,
Oh, you got nice young ladies, right? My bad. Hey,
This man said that he didn't know. He told me, I talked to him earlier. He said he didn't know if he was going to be able to podcast tonight because he might be going out with somebody. And now he don't have hoes.
Hey, you got a hot date.
Anyway, let me get to what I was saying. Y'all getting off topic.
Shane, is that going to be a nightcap? Is when you go out with
Nightcap. Oh, shoot. You go,
no,
hey, Shane, you're going to show her the fireworks,
I'm
huh?
working tonight. Anyway,
working?
I'm saying, what I was saying was two-way players do not count as roster spots.
All right, so my bad. Okay.
So there's really 13 players plus the two-way.
Okay, so how about this? So Antho, the question is, would with the roster where it is right now, on this roster, would you bring Melo in?
No more Melo.
No,
I would.
No more Melo. You're done with Melo.
No.
Listen. That's why I didn't ask you.
I would after exhausting.
I knew you would.
I would after exhausting all options because a lot of fans want T.J. Warren. So they're not able, because there's still a lot of talent left. So if you strike out on everybody, and Mel happens to be there, fine. But if you stick with the trend, which is go younger, and it's a younger talent that can help, that'll be a better fit. Then you can let Melo go where he needs to go. But like I said, if nobody comes in and nobody wants to take that minimum, and Melo's there, and when you got a Kyrie, LeBron, AD situation, Melo can just spot up all day.
So, I think if we keep his minutes low enough,
and you can keep his minutes low enough in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. I think maybe it's it might be a good idea. But
especially playoff time, because how Melo is in clutch. So, and who you going to choose to fall back on if you got Kyrie bringing ball up, LeBron on the wing, Melo on the wing? You know what I'm saying? So,
if we get Kyrie, LeBron's going to be playing point, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, but they have experience. They have experience doing that, so that's what makes it a better because they can switch off like that.
Why do you hate LeBron so much? What did he do?
I don't like him playing point. Like that's like if you talking about saving yourself to where you can play with your son, dude, you should be releasing some of your responsibilities. Like run the wing. Like post up, do something that gets you each your buckets.
Running the wing and running the post is harder than running the point.
Whatever. Anyway, but yeah, going back to your point, like I said, if
I feel like you need like a therapy session, man, because I don't like how you be talking about LeBron, man, and I don't like how I have to defend LeBron either.
I mean, you can defend him all at once. If I feel is how I feel.
I don't want to, but you make me because you're so disrespectful.
I'll be off the court. I got nothing to respect for him. On the court,
we're talking about on the court, man. We're talking about on the court.
He pissed me off when he did in All-Star Weekend. I was cool with him.
What did he do All-Star Weekend? You see what happened? See, now we're getting to the root of your pain. Tell me, please, talk to me. I'm here for you. What did LeBron do to you All-Star Weekend? Tell me.
Okay, we gonna get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
How many players on this roster are clutch clients?
Ooh, a lot. I don't have the exact number on me
So
right now.
my point is,
Let's say half the roster is clutch clients, right?
my
Okay.
point is, we're bringing in your clientele. You're getting the say in damn near all the moves.
Okay.
It was your decision to bring in Westbrook.
Yes, that's
and
true.
all of a sudden you're gonna go to All-Star weekend and complain about the Lakers and complain we're not doing enough to please you, and then go to put in public that
So
I'm gonna go anywhere that takes my son.
What did he say to complain about the Lakers? I must have missed this.
He insinuated he didn't say this for Ben because you know how he's kind of passive aggressive. He insinuated that the Lakers wasn't doing enough to please him or doing enough to because he had a problem with Rob not making a trade at the deadline, and Rob said we're all on the same page.
Okay.
I'm not doing a trade, but he said no, he wasn't. We wanted to trade. Well, he didn't say that, but through his people, he said that we wanted to trade, and they're not doing enough to satisfy me in terms of and so forth. So, with that being said, I turned it off. I turned it off in 2020 when he won championship and he did what he did for Kobe. So I turned all that off. But that set me off to when it's like, you can go off that. Because like I said, we bring detail. We're bringing in, we're trying to please you by bringing in Kyrie. We try to please you to bring in Westbrook. And you still on this tip like, oh, you're not doing enough. Oh, I'm a leave if my son goes somewhere else. Like, bruh, how much more can we do for you? You got more power than Kobe, and Kobe is Mr. Laker. Like, we didn't give Kobe this type of power. You have more power than Kobe.
Kobe didn't have an agency.
True that. But he's gonna focus on hoops. But that's the point. You have a lot of power in LA, and we brought in one championship.
But that's why I said on Twitter that the Lakers are lame now, and the brand's not what it used to be. And Shane told me to stop being negative. But
you always negative.
Look at this fool being all negative, right? It's crazy. The hypocrisy on this man.
What it is about LeBron. I told you what it is about LeBron. Everybody, as far as the moves, I'm happy with the moves.
But it's because to me, I look at it like, and I say this all the time, that like when we were kids, right? And it was like when the Lakers started winning championships again when we were kids. So it was Shaq and Kobe and D Fish and all the guys. And then later we won with it was Kobe and still D Fish and Powell and Odom. And and it was such a family like feeling being a Laker that, like we mentioned earlier, Odom, how hurt he was when they tried to trade him in that the first time for that botched, that aborted Chris Paul trade. That he couldn't recover, but it was because to play for the Lakers back then. It still meant something, and I just think that was what the brand, that was what made the Lakers the Lakers.
But I feel you.
It's not just being in Los Angeles though. It's the lineage. It's going from all the way back. Will West, Baylor, Goodrich, Pat Riley was on the team. Then Dr. Bus buys the team. It's Chick Hearn, it's Magic, it's Kareem, it's Worthy, it's AC, it's Coop, it's Byron, it's Wilkes, all the guys. And then we fast even in the 90s,
and to that point,
that in between period though, even with the Nick and Eddie and Vonnie, those were true Lakers and true Laker team. And so once you decide, like I heard Michael Cooper,
Buzz was out in her tweet.
Yeah, Michael Cooper, when he was on one of his podcasts, he was on his own podcast, I think, I forget, but he was saying that that he like it's different now when he goes to the Lakers facility or whatever. It used to be a family, but now they run it. They just run it like a business, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
so, if you're going to change what made the Lakers in the first place, which was Dr. Buss and Jerry West and Bill
Mm-hmm.
Burka and Bill Sharman and all the guys, and like all the way through Kobe, it was like a continuation. So, if you're going to change that, and now it's just a business, and now it's crypto.com, and now it's, the Lakers, they have
Right.
their own network. And then you bring in LeBron, and like I like how they say on Rogan and Rodney that Lakers now are in the LeBron business, right? And LeBron
Right.
is bigger than the program, and it doesn't even feel the same. But yet they haven't really updated the brand to match how it's, how like the new way that the Lakers are like feel and are being run. So that's why I say that it's kind of that the brand has gone stale. But I wish that the brand was still like it always was. I hope people can
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
I get you because I feel like it kind of feels like we're like the joke of the league.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate that feeling. Like we got a brief intermission from it. So like, the whole like Joey Bus days, man. Like, we were definitely like the joke of the league. And then we landed LeBron. So then like, and then we won the championship in 2020, and then we stopped being a joke in 2020 finally. But
Mhm.
then I feel like we're starting to like
You're
get.
a
I
weird
I
joke
think you're right.
again.
We're a joke. It really feels like that way. I'm like, gosh,
If somebody asked me,
we're the
somebody
Lakers.
asked,
What the heck
yeah,
happening here?
somebody asked me, did you prefer when they were winning 20 games? And I was like, yeah, kinda. Those early years when we had, I mean, like right after that though. So Kobe retired, and then the
Right.
Lonzo and Ingram and Kuzma, but
Hmm.
especially Lonzo and Ingram were like our babies, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
at least that felt more. I mean, if we're not going to be good
You can't have
anyway,
ways. You can't like.
but
I think Sheila feels the same way.
if we're not going to be good anyway, we might as well be mediocre or
Entertaining.
bad
Yeah.
with a homegrown team.
Exactly. I
That's
get
all.
that.
LeBron is bigger than the program. The Lakers don't even feel like the Lakers anymore. It's LeBron and Rich Paul.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, don't get me wrong. Genie is Lakers blood. Rambus is
Right.
Lakers blood. But, Rob Pelinka, he's halfway because he was Kobe's agent. But they do what Rich Paul and LeBron. I mean, they push back a little bit now, but overwhelmingly it feels like I mean more than ever there's never been a player on the Lakers who had this type of you know sway like LeBron has with Rich, and like you said, having all his guys. It's like, come on, man, we're the Lakers.
Yeah. And
And
it
I
feels
love
like we're just trying to like hold on to like the big name, and like that's
yeah,
probably why we're kind of trying to just keep LeBron happy.
yeah, and I just I don't know, I don't know, bro. I
We might be setting a bad precedent though, like for future stars thinking that they can have this much power.
Other thing I was gonna say is that the way the Lakers built the you know, Rob did a great job building the 2020 team, and
Right.
then he did an even better
Agreed.
job building the 2021 team. I think they would have gone back to back, but the injuries took them down. But now
AD.
like last year was just a complete mess, and the game
Yeah.
is different now than when you thought. People thought, well, you just get as many superstars as you can, and
Hmm.
that'll just make it happen for you. It's not like that anymore. The game is so much more analytical. It's about
Yeah.
finding like the exact right pieces, and find and studying the analytics and finding trying to get like I said, those corner threes and open threes, and finding that right balance between how to and more. It's more important to have that right than it is to just have a bunch of big superstars like it used to
Yeah.
be.
Last summer was fun though, with all the names that came back to us. That part was fun at least. It
You
was
mean like just bringing in Westbrook and Carmelo and that stuff?
Yeah, Westbrook, Melo, Ariza came back.
Yeah.
Wayne Ellington came back. Kent Bazemore came back. At least that part was fun. Hearing those names coming back to the Lakers. I was like, oh, okay, trying to run it back, huh? All right, that's cool. That part was fun. The season wasn't fun, but the summer was fun for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so just right here at the end, any thoughts on Max Christie, Scottie Pippen Jr.? I don't even know who Cole Swider is, but any thoughts on Max Christie? He was the 35th pick.
I like him.
You do?
He likes everybody though.
Of
Don't
course,
ask
Shane
him.
likes
He likes everybody.
He's I seen the games. He's solid overall. He plays good D. He can shoot, although he's struggling with his shot first couple games go around. But he's finding other ways to affect the game. Like he had 9 rebounds his first game.
So we got me and Sheila have the games recorded. We're gonna do our homework, and I'll give you the actual answer next week.
Okay. Not even more time. Shane, Shane just watches every single minute of Lakers basketball. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is.
He likes everybody except for LeBron, though. It's crazy. It's weird.
And then Scottie Pippen Jr. Shane, what do you think of him?
I think he plays a lot like
you
Jordan
like him. Gotcha. Yeah.
He plays a lot like Jordan Farmar, but he's solid too.
Yeah.
Slider or Swindle, whatever his name is, he's shooting the ball well.
You like him? You like him too, yeah.
I like him. He's shooting the ball well. But the one who's really like doing his thing though is Jay Huff.
What about Shareef? What about Shareef? You like him?
I mean, of course I like Shareef, but Shareef's a hooper, and Shareef has changed the Taters' minds. He had a solid first game. He didn't play the second game because they gave somebody else a look, but he played a solid game to the point where people was like, oh, we got something here. He said he had actually played. Before
I love Shaq so much, but I can't think of a greater example of nepotism, I guess, than Shareef Abdul-Jabbar. I'll call him Shareef Abdul-Jabbar.
Have you seen him play though? You can't say you can't say
the man averaged 2 points and 2 rebounds in college.
Do you know why?
Why? Because his heart.
He had open heart surgery at 19 years old, dog. Do you know how hard?
Is that why he's still? What about last year though? He averaged 3 points and 2 rebounds.
He's still recovering from that, man.
He's still recovering.
Dude, do y'all know how hard open heart surgery is?
Okay, so then the other question is, so why did he go back to school so he could really kind of show what he can do?
In his words, he was listening to his dad on that, but he was getting offered workouts for the NBA. So if he's getting offered workouts, that means his dream is there. It's a possibility. So why?
I saw in the Twitterverse that Shaq told him to go back to school.
He did tell him to go back to school, but he didn't go forward with it because he's getting offered NBA. If he's getting offered NBA workouts, which means he has an opportunity to get drafted, why would you go back to school?
Did he get drafted?
He didn't get drafted, but he got picked up for a summer league contract, and he plays well.
That's why he should have went back to school, so he could have been drafted.
But in hindsight, you could say that, but he worked out with at least 3 or 4 teams.
I'm just you're asking the reason why. I'm saying because he wasn't projected to be like a high draft pick, or like it was probably being projected he might not get picked. If he would have gone, if the reason to go back to school,
3 or 4 teams, the
reason to go back to school, and I'll say the same thing about Johnny Juzang. I think he should have came back to school too. I mean, also for selfish reasons, because I want him to play another year at UCLA. But you can potentially up your stock. Like that's why you go back. That's why you make the decision to go back to school.
That's true, but you can also hurt your stock going back to school.
You got to
And we
bet on
seen plenty
Let
yourself.
me
of that.
ask you a question. If Shareef O'Neal's name was Shareef Johnson,
Right.
would he be anywhere
No.
close to? I
No.
mean, let's
But
be
y'all
honest.
making it seem like he's trash. He's not trash.
Oh my
He is
gosh,
trash.
man.
Dog, have you seen him
He
play?
has 2 points and 2 rebounds.
You think that's the problem?
Say,
That's the problem
see,
right now.
no,
This
Anthony,
analytics
you
stuff
can't
is
say
got to be twisting the
trash
game.
to this
You
guy
can't look at
because
he averaged 2 points a game. Oh, he
No,
you
you,
see
trash.
what I'm
you
saying?
No,
said
You
you
see what I'm
give
can't
him more.
look
saying?
Give him
at
You
more.
like
see
2
what I'm
points
saying?
a game. Go ahead.
Obviously, Shareef is good at the game of basketball, but we're talking about relative to the NBA.
He's
That's
a
what we're
he.
talking about.
See, have you seen him play? Because he actually can shoot.
Shane. Nobody's saying that the man. Listen, when we say that somebody's trash, like we're not saying like the man's actually trash. Listen, we
I know you're talking
understand
about
that.
the game is trash, but you can't say the game is trash. His game is trash if you haven't actually seen him play.
Hold on, clown. Let me finish.
Why
What
you gotta call me a
we're
clown?
not we're not
That's see.
because you don't understand. We're not saying that Shareef is
They call me
bad at
clown.
the game of basketball. Quiet down there, Negro child. So listen, we're not saying that Shareef is bad at the game of basketball. We understand that he's actually a good basketball player. What we're saying is like he's, when Anthony's saying he's trash, is he's trash relative to other NBA caliber players, relative
And
to the
you,
players that are
how do you
in
know
his
that
same
if you
draft
haven't
class.
seen him play? It's about that.
Bruh,
You can't
come on,
say
man.
that relative to other NBA players if
Why
you
why
haven't
didn't he
seen him
get
play.
why didn't he get drafted higher? But why didn't he get drafted?
Because more than likely they looked at his stats, and then more than likely they looked at it at his health. Because like I said, he's still struggling with like he played at the Drew League and could barely breathe. Like
Anthony,
he's
man. Can you explain it better to your boy, man? Because I mean,
I don't know,
I've been
Shane.
trying to
I
explain
mean,
it to him for years.
if Shane
I keep
can't,
I keep telling him for years now. I don't understand, man.
if
He doesn't even get.
If the man averaging 2 points and 2 rebounds a game in college doesn't convince you that he probably would
no,
not have even gotten a sniff of summer league if his dad weren't Shaq. And the Lakers, it's no coincidence. What other franchise other than the Lakers?
and again, what's wrong with that? Because white people do it all the time. Why can't a brother do that?
White people do it all the time.
Oh.
For real. How many white people had gotten away with in
Oh, shite! He got us there. Nah, for real. They do be doing that though.
They
You're
not
right.
getting the
He's right
guy.
about that.
They're not getting an office job, a desk job, and a cubicle. He's the
and y'all want to complain when
basketball
Shaq does it?
Shane.
And Shaq, in all fairness, didn't do that. Like this was like a quote unquote family move, but that the Lakers did gave him a look because they had
Yeah, because Shaq is
That's what
family.
he's saying. Because Shaq is exactly. That's what he's saying.
and
I
there's
love
nothing
what
wong with that.
I
But
love when
he
he makes
make
the
it seem
point
like
for you.
because he did work out with the team. If he was super trash, they're not gonna put him on the team.
My
And he
God,
actually
yes, they
played,
would.
and you will see
He's on
him,
the
and
summer
he
league team.
averaged,
Who
and he
cares
got
if he's on the
15
summer
points in
league
the
team?
damn game. So it was like,
Oh my gosh, man.
but
Listen,
his
I'm
average is due to his health. Like I have personal
all
experience
right,
with open
man.
heart surgery,
Listen, I'm
so
rooting for
this is
I'm
Shane,
rooting
you
and
for
had
Shareef.
open heart surgery,
I
Shane?
love Shareef. I love
I
Shaq.
didn't
I'm
personally
rooting
have
for
it. My
Shareef.
grandfather had it, where they actually have to take a limb out of his leg to repair his heart
So
after.
he had open heart surgery. It was after his freshman year, right?
Yeah, no,
Well,
during his freshman year.
it was
During
during
his
his
freshman year.
freshman year.
Yeah.
This was his
So
junior year, was it not?
yeah, this was his junior year.
Well, as a freshman,
Eh?
he averaged 2.2 points and 2.9 rebounds.
He missed the whole year because of open heart surgery, bro.
He played 13 games. What was that? What happened in those 13 games?
Now I can't speak on that. I wasn't.
Oh, hold on. He doesn't have an excuse for that, right? Come
But
on,
bro,
man.
you like
Come on, man.
open heart surgery that usually happens with older people. This is a teenager that had
Nobody's
open
saying
heart surgery.
nobody's saying that. That's not the point. As
That
usual,
is the
the point
point
has
because you looking at his stats
no,
like, why you only
but
average 2
the
points a
point
game?
has
Like
gone over
he
your head.
still.
He just gave you the stats from before he even had the surgery, though. You couldn't explain it. What are you talking about?
Whatever, man. You just want to say he's trash. All right, let's just get off.
No.
Y'all just whatever. Let's get off.
Okay, no, it says that he was a red shirt during his first season in college with the Bruins when he underwent heart surgery. So I guess that was he did do the heart surgery before but it's still that was he's played. It's been 3 years since then, though, Shane. When is he going?
It does. It's a lifetime recovery.
So what is he?
So
I'm
why
not
is he
trying
trying to be in the NBA?
Yeah,
because it's his dream to play in the NBA. Like if you get in workouts and you get off of workouts, you got a chance to live your dream. You're not gonna go for your dream.
Either way, no. That's not the point. The whole point was
He was asking
saying
why
like
he's trying to play in the NBA because it's his dream playing in the NBA.
The original point was he wouldn't have got a shot if his last name was not O'Neal, and that's
fair. And I'm saying, what the hell is wrong with that? White people do all the time. Let a brother do it.
White people do all the time.
It's facts. That's why you got heiresses to to all the major companies and major franchises. That's why you got the heiresses. They grow the owner of when they get older. Like white people do all the time, man.
Listen, man, I'm not upset that he got a shot. So I'm rooting for Shareef. I actually hope that he balls out and he makes the team.
And he did the first game. That's why.
All right.
So I mean, it's to be continued. But he's not like okay. I'll put it like this. If he's gonna make it, if he don't make it on the leg, he's gonna make somebody sing. That's what
you think so?
Yes.
Put your money where your mouth is.
How much you want to bet?
How much you want to lose?
Put our number.
Oh, Shane, why are you doing that? Mitch, bet him a whole bunch of money.
Right?
Because you making it seem like he's trash and shitty, but dude can hoop.
I believe he can hoop. I know for a fact he can hoop. There's plenty of dudes who are not in. There's plenty of dudes not in the NBA that can hoop. That's not the point.
Yeah, okay. That's not what you were saying earlier, but all right.
That's exactly what I said. I said.
No, y'all said, he only averaged 2.3 points a game in college. He's trash.
We brought up his stats to say he wouldn't have got a look if his last name was not O'Neal.
And again, what's the problem with that? White people do it all the time.
Just no. Okay, listen. I don't even have a problem with like the nepotism, to be honest, because I love Shaq, I love Shareef, so I don't have a problem with the nepotism. I'm just saying he wouldn't have got the look if his last name wasn't O'Neal. Like it is what it is. I don't know why you're pushing back on that. You're admitting to that too. That's all we're saying. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't mean to push back on that, but at the same time, I also
you get so defensive, man. We gotta listen, man. Do you need a hug? I can give you a hug if you need it, because you getting so defensive, man. Hey, man, I love you, man. You gotta stop getting so defensive.
But I'm just saying, man. He's like,
all right, man. Well, I mean, listen. I feel like we made a lot of progress, especially we started working through your LeBron as well. So now we got to get through your whole us saying that players are trash issue. We got to eventually, I wonder how many weeks
my issue with the whole thing, players is trash, because it's always like a fluid situation and always like a switch up. Because you didn't say THT was trash his rookie year or the year prior to that, but now you're saying he's trash now, and now you're not putting in the factors that came in with this, because somebody brought up he's never had a quote unquote regular season, and normal season in NBA. Because he came in, he got his first major shot in the bubble because he was playing E-League.
My personal thoughts on THT, last year he played like trash. His rookie season, I didn't think he was like all that like everybody else. I wasn't buying the hype like everybody else. So I kept my thoughts reserved. I didn't think he was that good. his rookie season, to be honest.
That's another LeBron move as well, because LeBron discovered him.
You mean Le GM?
The GM, he discovered him. He's the one who told Rich Paul, "Hey, I heard about this kid named THT. Go look at him."
Oh,
that's how he got here.
My goodness, man.
We want. So take that LeBron as well.
Eventually, Antho, we're gonna work through all of Shane's issues. We've scratched the surface on his LeBron issues. We're gonna keep working through this, man. I'm not gonna give up on this. All right, I'm making it my personal mission.
I mean, you could try, but I'm done with LeBron. I'm done with LeBron.
The Shareef thing is interesting because no matter what you say to him, he's either gonna say. If you say, "Well, he averaged 2 points and 2 rebounds," you're gonna say, "Well, he had heart surgery." And then you say,
y'all taking that lightly, like that's not a big deal.
And
like,
if you say, "Well, he only getting a chance because he's Shaq's son," he's gonna say, "Well, what's wrong with that? Why people do it?"
Because it's facts. And then in fairness to Shaq, he never reached out to the Lakers and said, "Hey, please pick up my son." He told his son stay in school. They had an argument about that. He didn't listen. So don't say, "Oh, they doing this." Don't put Shaq into this. They did it because Shaq, parts with Shaq, is Shaq, and he's part of the team, he's part of the family. But also too,
they did it for the good.
Shareef showed out in his workout. Shareef showed out in his workout. So
you think he showed out in his workout?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, he's got a shot in the summer league. We've seen guys like Caruso take their shot in summer league, and okay, so like I said, we've seen guys like Caruso turn a shot in summer league into big money contracts in the NBA. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility. But I mean, hopefully he can make the best of the opportunity that he's been given, for sure. I'm rooting for Shareef, though.
That would be great if Shareef makes a team and ends up being I'm just saying, it ends up being a decent player. But
and it's amazing y'all made that argument about Shaq, but didn't make that argument about Scottie Pippen Jr. though.
Because Pippen was a good player in college, Scottie Pippen Jr.
But he didn't get drafted either.
A lot of good players don't get drafted, though. That's the thing.
But you look at him and look at Shareef. Oh, he didn't get drafted. He trashed.
Because Shareef didn't really play in college.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't play. He averaged 2 points a game when he did play. That's why I said it's not because he didn't get drafted. It's because numbers wise, you look at that, Pippen averaged 18 points a game in college over 3 years.
But again, he had open heart surgery. Right? No, don't look at that as like, oh, that shouldn't matter. It's 2 years prior. No, that is a lifetime problem. Again, I know from personal experience with my grandfather, because days where he couldn't walk.
I don't know if you can call that personal experience, but
okay, interpersonal experience. So put it like
How old was your grandfather?
He at that time he was probably his 50s or 60s.
Oh, okay. Well, don't you think it's harder for?
My point is that surgery usually happens with older people.
Right,
it's very rare for a younger.
But but you look at like medical problems like that. You look at a guy like Chris Bosh. He had to retire early. So I mean, sometimes it is what it is, man. If your health isn't permitted to if your health isn't permitting you to play, then I mean, you just gotta follow that sometimes.
But he's saying he's good, but I don't.
Okay, then stop using his surgery as an excuse. Please.
I'm just telling you, it's a lifetime issue.
It's on the record. It's on the record. Stop using it as an excuse, though.
All right, whatever. I want to see him struggling to breathe.
If it's that bad, he shouldn't play then.
But again, he going after his dream. You can't tell him
which one is it? I mean, his dream or his life, man. Wasn't it Chris Bosh's dream?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
All right.
It was fatal. It could have been fatal if he continued playing. That's why he stopped.
Exactly. You don't think this could be fatal to Shareef?
It can be, but it's not. It's not being
Okay, then. So, like I
brought
said,
out like that.
if it's that bad, he shouldn't play. Other than that, yeah, I don't want to hear no excuses. To be honest.
Whatever, man. It's not an excuse. That's just a factor.
Okay, so before we get out of here, just a reminder to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. The show is also on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and every other major podcatcher. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network and to like it on Facebook. Just search for the Complete Podcast Network. Send feedback and mailback to CompleteLakersPodcast@gmail.com. We are out.